Good morning, everyone. And for today's lesson, we are going to discuss figurative language, and we are now on our fourth lesson for the second quarter. In this lesson, you will learn some figurative language used as a literary device common in poetry. And I know this is one of the most common lesson in English, right? So let's start with the definition of figurative language. Okay, so when we say figurative language, it is a way to make ordinary language be more effective and insightful. So it uses figure of speech to go beyond a literal meaning to help create more interesting writing and to amplify what we are saying. That is figurative language. And most common figures of speech are what you had learned during your elementary days, like simile, metaphor, personification, hyperbole, and many more, right? But for today, we will learn another set of figurative language, and they are: first, we have assonance, next, alliteration, consonants, onomatopoeia, next is cliche, and idiom, and the other one is euphemism. Okay, so we are going to identify each of them, and if you are ready to listen, let's start with assonance. Okay, so when we say assonance, it is the repetition of the same vowel sound in words. Okay, it is also known as the vowel rhyme. So it is the repetition of vowel sounds across a line or text or poetry. Okay, we have here a noisy noise, a noise, an oyster. So the words have to be near enough to each other that the similar vowel sounds are noticeable. Okay, and another example is the light on the site did not let him see the sight. So in the first example, we have the sound of the diphthong ois. Okay, so noisy, noise, a noise, oyster. Okay, the sound ois. And for the another example, we have the light, sight, sight. So the sound of long I. The it, sight, it. All right. And another example, go slow on the road. So here the sound of the long O is repeated. All right. So that is assonance. Next, we have alliteration. So here, it is the repetition of initial letter in successive words for effect. Okay, so again, you have to take note initial letter. Like for example, he is the tutor who tutored a flute. Again, he is the tutor who tutored a flute. So here, the sound of letter T. Next, just smile, speak, and served. So the initial letter S is repeated. And we have she sells seashells by the seashore. So again, the sound or the repetition of the letter S, that is alliteration. Also, we have here another example, the repetition of the sound or the letter P rather. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. So it is the use of the same beginning consonant sound in a line or verse. Next is consonance. So what is consonance? It is the repetition of the same consonant sound in words. The question is, what's the difference between alliteration and consonants? Because they are both consonant sound. So you have to keep in mind that alliteration involves the first consonant sounds in multiple words. So that is the initial, the beginning, the first consonant. While consonants can appear anywhere in the word. So typically at the end. So the sound devices here occur in a quick succession, usually within several words in a row or in a line. That is consonants. Again, if it is initial sound, beginning sound, that is alliteration. But if it is, or rather, if it appears anywhere in the word, that is consonants. All right? So we have here some examples. First, traffic figures on July 4th to be tough. Again, consonants, of course, when sounds, not letters, repeat. In the example below, the F sound is what matters, not the different letters such as PH used to produce that sound. Okay? Next, we have when Billy looked at the trailer, she smiled and laughed. So the sound of the. Next we have the black sack is in the back. So the sound of k. Black sack back. Alright. Next we have he thrust his fist against the post and still insists he sees the ghost. Okay, so the sound of STS. So again, consonants does not require that words with the same sounds be directly to each other. Alright, so that is consonants. Next, we have onomatopoeia. It is a word that imitates the sound it represents. So like for example, splash, pop, bang. Okay. Now we have here some examples of onomatopoeia used in the sentence. So first we have, I hear the buzz of busy bees. Next we have, the best part about music class is that you can bang on the drum. Next we have, the birds chirp filled the empty night air. And to last we have, her heels clocked on the hard floor. So the word buzz, bang, chirp, and clocked are examples of onomatopoeia. All right. So next we have cliche. So when we say cliche, it is a phrase or opinion that is overused and betrays a lack of original thought. A word or phrase that has become overly familiar or commonplace. So like for example, we have every cloud has a silver lining. Next, when pigs fly, light as a feather, diamond in the rough, cold as ice. So those words are very familiar and are overused. And here are some examples of cliche. First, no pain, no gain. Next, don't worry, be happy. And time is gold. Very common. Next, all for one and one for all. The motto of everyone. Next, and they all lived happily ever after. Alright, so those are some examples of cliche. Next, we have idiom. So we already discussed it in our previous lesson, right? So an expression that doesn't exactly mean what the words say. So these are the words or expressions that take a deeper or different meaning from the combined literal meaning of all the words. So again, you don't have to take the idioms literally. Alright? So we have here an example. She spilled the beans. So we are not talking here with the beans. Okay? But it means that she talked too much and told the secret. That is, she spilled the beans. And here are some examples of idioms. So first we have, I go out for walks once in a blue moon. Okay, so once in a blue moon means very rarely. Okay, next we have I'm feeling under the weather. So if you say that you are under the weather, you mean that you feel slightly ill or sick. That is under the weather. Next we have you're barking up the wrong tree. So if you are barking up the wrong tree, it means that you have completely misunderstood something or you are totally wrong. That is, you're barking up the wrong tree. Next we have, don't cry over spilled milk. So the phrase means that there's no point of, or rather to being upset over the things or something that has already happened and cannot be changed. That is, don't cry over spilled milk. So those are examples of idioms. So next we have euphemism. So it is a polite or mild words that take the place of crude or harsh words. So the use of agreeable words to replace rude or offensive ones. Okay. And here are some examples of euphemisms. First, he passed away. It means he died. And a well-off means rich. Economically challenged, it means poor. So euphemism is like sugar coating. Next, we have pregnancy termination, that is abortion. And blowing smoke, it means lying. So when we say you are blowing smoke, it means you are lying. All right, so again, instead of using offensive ones or offensive words rather, try to use some other words that are not too offensive or rude. And usually, euphemism undermine the offensiveness of a negative idea, like for example, death, old age, or madness. And like for example, when you are talking to a grieving widow, for example, a polite euphemism for dead is passed away or resting in peace will be more appropriate. All right, so again, those are some examples of euphemism. And to sum it up, we have studied the 7 figurative language. So first we have assonance, consonants, alliteration, onomatopoeia, cliche, idiom, and euphemism. Alright? So that's all for today, grade 8. Again, this is Teacher Mitch, your English teacher, saying don't stop exploring and keep on learning. So bye everyone. Have a nice day.